This is an introduction to the Bollinger and RSI mean reversion system here. So to get started, go to your workspaces there and you'll see, we just open up that workspace there. All right, that will load up, this chart as you see like this. And let's start with Bloodhound and then we'll jump to Blackbird afterwards. To start with, right, we can see kind of the classic signal right there, right? So price breaks through the lower band and then, right, and then the profit's taken when price reverts back to the mean, which is the midline there. We've included an extra exit signal. So if we wanted to take a look at that, right, essentially whenever price crosses the midline there, those are your exit signals, right? Normally you would use a profit target, following the midline there. But if you didn't want to use a profit target, then you could use these exit signals. So let's open up Bloodhound here. So as you look at, the two different logic templates here, the entry signals and that exit, you can see there's a full explanation there. Also included as a little extra is a US RTH time node here. So this restricts your signals to only RTH. So if you want to see 24 hours of signals, just simply disconnect it, and there you go. So yeah, real quickly here, the exit signals here, pretty straightforward there. If you don't want to use a profit target, then you could use these exit signals. So whenever price crosses that. So if we want to show it right now, we could just double click right there. And there we go. Those are two exit signals there. All right, moving on to Blackbird. Let's open up our strategies window and go into SharkIndicators, and right there is Blackbird. Add that down. And next thing we want to select the file. So right there's the Bollinger, and of course you'll see the other Blackbird files for the other systems there. Let's load that up, and remember, you got to enable your strategies there, and most likely you probably want to disable that. But all right, click OK. All right, we'll switch our signals over so we can see the entry signals. And you'll notice that once you've had Blackbird, that you do get two Bloodhounds on your chart. You don't actually need both of them. You can actually remove the Bloodhound, but you do have to keep the Blackbird one, right? So this is Bloodhound running inside of Blackbird, but you can remove the one that says just Bloodhound if you wish. All right, so with Blackbird loaded up, let's open up the Blackbird window there, the order settings window. So the way we have this set up, we have and again, a little extra here that we've added to this in case you want to utilize this. So this is the original system here, order set A. So you can see our profit target is being placed at the midline, but also our profit target is trailing or following the midline as well. So we can see the initial placements on the Bollinger. And if we go into the trailing actions tab, we'll see, right, there's a trailing rule here to move that profit target so that it follows the Bollinger there. So, right, the Bollinger, the midline there is always, right, sloping up or sloping down there with the market there. So that way, again, if we look at this entry signal there, right, your profit target's going to start up there and then it's going to follow down, with the midline, until price comes up and hits it there. All right. This order set B, this extra here, is at the opposite band. So we have a profit target, right? So we'll have a profit target at the midline and on the opposite band. So if it's a buy, then your profit target is going to follow the upper band, right? And if it was a sell, right, then your profit target would be following that lower band, right? So if you kind of wanted to go and play around and test both profit targets, they're available to you. Now, the video for this system didn't explain what kind of stop loss to use. So, you have to pick something. So we just plugged in a 1 ATR stop loss there for you. Now, if you don't want to use 1 ATR, right, that's pretty easy. You can just delete them. I'll delete this one here. You can delete them and then go and select, any of these quick lists here So, obviously for this system, you don't want to use the bar low because your entries are always going to be on the bar low, right, or the bar high. But let's say you just wanted to go for a fixed, tick-based stop loss there, then you could select that and use that instead, right? Lastly, if you don't want to use the opposite band, you can just simply hit the red X, and that removes the whole order set there. Right, let me cancel that out. Let's open this back up. There we go. So if you hit cancel, it undoes everything that you might have modified there. So now we have our stop loss back. Now, so if you don't want to use the midline as your profit target, again, you can just hit X and you're only left with the opposite band, and vice versa. If you don't want to use the opposite band, just hit the red X and it removes this whole order set there. Right? And there's no money management set in here, right? Those videos didn't get into money management. So again, remember, you can custom tailor this to however you see fit. And as far as the scheduling goes, we did enable the RTH, right? Even though the Bloodhound signals also are by default are limited to RTH, but we enabled this just in case because the benefit of using the scheduler is it has this force trades to exit. So that way you can be sure that Blackbird will exit your trade at the end of the day there. That's the benefit to using this. All right, that concludes our introduction to the Bollinger and RSI mean reversion system.